what inspired you to start Juniority TV? Because it does sound like it's a passion for you, and it falls right in line, with the skill set you have. But what made you want to highlight young people who are entrepreneurs or those who are making a difference in the world?
Well, I think it kind of goes back to me, kind of doing some searching and purpose and meaning and all these things. I just love young people, and when I see what they're doing, whether it's business, philanthropy, anything that they do, they have so much passion and they have so much love for it, and they are driven, and when they find something that they love, I mean, they flourish really, really well. And I love that about them, and as adults, a lot of us at what point or another have heard somebody say to us, oh, do what you love and you'll never work a day in your life. And it's like, well, young people already know how to do that. They know how to do what makes them joyful. They really, really do what they love, and they do it with love. And I think that makes a huge difference. And they all, like, across the board, if you look at them, they always give back. And I'm just like, what an incredible, for adults, we're always like, oh, when I reach this stage, I'll give back or I'll do this. They really do that right now. And they're kind of like the epitome of what I would love to do. So they really embody a lot of the characteristics that I think as adults we search to be like. And so I think it's really important to encourage them and to spotlight that.
Wonderful. Yeah, well, I really love that because, I also have the honor of being able to interview and speak with and work with some amazing young people. So I'm just curious, how do you find such wonderful young folks? I mean, I know there's a lot out there, but how do you find these hidden emerging
gems?
leaders and these awesome young people?
They're so amazing. So I started using social media, Instagram, and then just Googling, kids that are doing incredible things. So I started there, and then I slowly found myself getting into this community. And what you'll notice is once you get in that community is they all know each other.
Okay.
They've all at some point have worked with each other or are doing a project together. They help each other out, they promote each other. If you look at their social media, this person's posting about that, and they really, really do support each other, and they're in this together, and I love that about them. So, you go from one social media to another, and then you find all these kids, and it's just like really amazing. So that's how I find them. We also have on our website a way for them to request to be a guest, or, well, the parents can nominate them to be a guest or to be featured as well.
Okay, well, that's great. I mean, what a perfect segue, because I want to know what exactly are you looking for in young people who would be featured on the show? Are there any specific criteria in terms of age or what they're doing, that sort of thing?
Yeah, sometimes as you get a little bit younger, I would like to see a more established business or, a philanthropy project that they're working on. If they're, but I also don't want to exclude the younger ones, right? Because it really inspires them. Oh my gosh, somebody interviewed me, and they see there's value in that sort of validation when you're like, oh my gosh, I love what you're doing and you should be highlighted. So I try, if not interview them, then I try to do a feature, a 1-minute video feature on them, so we can still highlight them if they're not as established. But definitely it helps when they have an established business, because they have a clear vision and they have a clear goal, and they can really talk about what they're doing. And honestly, I think, a little bit of established business, and also something that, other people don't do. I love kids that are not following the status quo, right?
Yeah.
They're really going in a direction that most of us wouldn't even think to go. And it shows a lot of bravery for you to trek, you know, an uncharted path as a child. So I love young people that go and do things that most of us are not doing. So I also look for that for sure.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like so incredible how young people in this generation, Generation Z, how they are just like automatically thinking, what can they do to make a difference? Like it seems like volunteerism and altruism is innate for them. You know, they're not
It
waiting.
really is.
Yeah, they're not waiting till, you know, they grow up to decide what they want to do and be.
Yeah.
You know, they're making a difference right now. So what advice would you give to a young person who's maybe thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, or maybe they're thinking about starting a nonprofit, or at least starting an initiative where they're giving back, or some sort of, you know, do good project in their community? What advice would you give to them, you know, if they're first starting out?
I would say start. There's no such thing as small, just start. And you will see how there's a quote by Lao Tzu that I love. He says, "A journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step." And that one step that you're taking, you really need to look at it as something really, really significant, right? It takes a while to build your empire, but that one step of you taking the courage to start is so important. Start, and then once you start, you'll notice that the momentum of what you're doing will take you there. And you know, the momentum of people seeing what you're doing and encouraging you, there's so many things that will kind of pile up and really encourage you to keep going in that path. So you just have to start. The biggest thing is start.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Because sometimes I do hear young people and even some adults think to themselves, well, maybe, you know, I'm too young to get started. Or some adults even think, well, you know what, I'm too old. My
Too
time has
old.
passed. So, you know, it's definitely good
Yeah.
to hear you say that. And one more thing I want to find
Yeah.
out before we go here. So if a young person, you know, they want to be featured on the show. You mentioned, you know, there's an online form for them to fill out, and you have to
Yep.
get their parents' permission, or the parent has to fill out the form. What
Yes.
what other avenues do you all have? Social media, of course you do. Social media sites where they can follow along, and you know, just get an idea of how the show goes. It's on YouTube, I presume.
Yeah. So definitely, I would say if you want to get a feel of what we're doing, check out our YouTube. We're still, you know, building a lot of things. Our website too. It's always under construction, but everything's a work in progress. But you'll get a really good idea from looking at our YouTube channel, our website, junioritytv.com, and all our social medias are at Juniority TV. And even our Instagram, you can go on there, you can see the Instagram live videos that we do. We also have, you know, other shows coming soon. Currently, we have Chatting with Chloe. If you know Chloe Cares, she does a show on our platform. So we're also trying to get a lot of other kids to come and create content on our platform.
Love it.
So it's not really, you know, just me interviewing young entrepreneurs. It really is a space for them to come on. They can interview each other. They can talk about subjects that are important to them, because a lot of them have shared interests, right? Jaquil Jackson, if you know about him, he is huge with the homeless community. Chloe does the same thing. So they share a lot of interests and they help each other out. So this is really a space for them to come together too. So they can also look at our feature videos, which is generally 1 to 2 minutes, and we try to do a quick feature on them. But yeah, I think all our social medias will give them an idea of what we're doing.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that's awesome. Well, I am so excited to check out some of the additional videos. I actually
Of course.
connected with Chloe on LinkedIn, I believe it is. So,
Oh, very cool. Yeah.
and look, and that's how I learned about Juniority TV, some of her posts.
That's
And I was just
awesome.
like, oh, I want to check out and see what she's doing. And then boom, there was Juniority TV.
Yeah.
So,
That's
so
awesome.
kudos to you for all that you do.
Thank
And
you.
I'm really glad we got a chance to talk.